Welcome to Already Overbooked. My name's Josh, and we're going to be doing some changes on the channel. So let's go through and talk about it. Let's start with some channel updates. So I decided that going forward, Friday videos will now be exclusively weekly recap videos. And I wanted to go through and explain the why I went through and made this change. I was going through and reviewing different books that I went through and read this year, and I realized that I went through and read 30 books this year and only discussed 10 of those books. Now, that could be through my own reviews or during a specific live discussion I've had with someone else. And I want to do more. I've read 30 books. I want to go through and talk about as much of them as I can. And realistically, I don't have the time to do a review for every single book. So I want to have more opportunities to discuss these books. And I think the best way to go through and do that is through a weekly update. And it would also, having these updates, it's going to be a little bit more organized, more structured on exactly what's happening within the channel. What am I reading? What do I plan on reading? Things like that. I just think overall it's going to be better. I also am going to be starting next week getting into the short form content, which I want to do something different. I know a lot of people they got different avenues they want to go through and do with their shorts. Sometimes it's clips from their bigger videos. Sometimes it's just a fun little thing that they do. So I'm going to be doing one sentence book reviews on the shorts, and then also maybe doing some skits. I have some ideas that I have been mulling over and getting prepared to put out, so those should be fun. And then pretty much any other kind of shenanigans I feel like doing for the short form. So it's going to be different than what I have from a long form perspective. So I'm very, very excited. So let's jump in to the weekly wrap up. The first thing I want to talk about is what did I read last week? So I ended up reading one full book and I DNF'd a book. So the first book that I actually finished was Prince of Thorns. This book was so good. It was so good. But yet I hated the main character. If you read this book, you understand exactly what I mean. So, for those who have not, think of this as Joffrey from Game of Thrones, but he's the main character. Like, this guy is literally one of the worst human beings, but the writing is so well done and the story so good that you start ignoring all the anger and disappointment you have in the main character. The story goes in and gives you an understanding of why he does what he does, which is great, but he's still a crazy person. But an amazing book. I'm definitely going to go through and continue with this world. I'm going to jump into the next book. I think it's called King of Thrones. Probably in the next coming months is what I'm thinking. It was good, but nothing I need to jump to the next book next. So that's Prince of Thorns. The next book that I started to read was The Coral Bones. I got this book from the author, which I really do appreciate it, but I'm not the target audience for this book. This is not, it didn't work well for me. There's three main point of views in this book, and they're all based in different time periods. But to me, when I was reading them, they all felt like the exact same character. They were literally had the same voice, same mannerisms, even though they were one was from the 1800s, one was present day, and one was in the future. They all were exactly the same, which bothered me because they had no significant voice, and there's no way if you pull people from each of these time frames that they're going to have the exact same perspective on things, and they're going to go through and believe the same thing. There has to be differences, and I just couldn't get past that. So I ended up DNFing this after, I think, 3 4 chapters at most. It was just not good. So I'm going to go through and donate this to the local bookstore. Someone's going to go through and appreciate it. It does have the author's signature in it, which is cool, but it's just not for me. So I'm going to go through and drop this one. What am I currently reading? So I'm going through and physically reading 2 books, and I'm listening to 1 audiobook. I am almost finished with Open Evening. This is book 1 of Order of the Following by Lee Hall. This book is ridiculous. This book is so crazy. It reminds me of the characters from Lost Boys with the premise of the faculty and the monsters of Stranger Things all blended together into this book. It is very fun and engaging. Is the writing the best? No, it is also a debut novel, so I'm given some leeway because I've read Lee's most recent book, which is a prequel to this one, which is amazing. One of the best books I've read, or novellas I've read so far this year. So I'm giving him a little bit of grace with this because I know where his writing's going. So I know each book's going to get better and better. But this one, the characters are good. The story's a lot of fun, a lot of action, keeps you on the edge of your feet. It's the conversation piece between the characters that I kind of roll my eyes on sometimes. But it's fun for what it is. So I'm going to definitely go through and continue, see how this book finishes, and I'm probably going to start book 2, or I'm going to buy book 2 next month, and then as soon as it comes out, I'm going to go through and read it. A lot of fun. Definitely check out Open Evening by Lee Hall. Great book. The other book that I am going through and physically reading is Point of Impact, book 1 of the Bob Lee Swagger book by Stephen Hunter. This book is older, and you can feel it in here with the tone and the writing style. Not too far into, I think I'm like chapter 2. So far it's good. It's nothing that I get super excited about of, oh, I got to read the next chapter of this book. I hope it kind of picks up a little bit more and really pulls me in, but we'll go through, we'll find out once I am forced to read it. It's going to be the only thing I'm reading next. The last one is I'm listening to Tomorrow's Children, book 2 of The Spirits of the Earth. This book is not great, but it's a good book I'm listening to as I'm doing chores around the house. So think of it as X-Men meets Fallout in a war of gods fighting against each other. And that's the premise of this series so far. So book 1 was okay. Book 2, it leans more into the factions and chaos that's happening between different societies. Some have specific agendas. The other ones have opposing agendas where they're going through and fighting over mutant children. Of, hey, we want to train these mutant children to do what we want. Well, we want to test these mutant kids. So it's a lot of fighting over kids in this book. My issues with this book is the same as it was previous book. It's not for me. I'm not hate finishing it. It's just not great. It's like probably going to be middle of the road for me when I'm going through and comparing it to some of the other books I've read this month. It's definitely bottom tier, but it's good enough for me to finish. So take that as you will. Some pre-orders and buys that I did this past week. I went through and bought an ebook of the Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. This one is a horror vampiric book. It's the cover looks amazing. I think I'm going to go through and hopefully enjoy it. There's been some reviews coming out by people who I normally really agree on their perspective, and they are not liking this book. So I'm a little bit concerned, but we'll see. I'm going to be going through and starting that very soon. The other book or books I went through and bought was I continued and bought the last remaining 4 books of the Samuel Buckland series by Jason P. Crawford. They're all ebooks of those. I'm going to go through and read those because Logan from Novel Insights and I are doing a live discussion later on this year with Jason P. Crawford, the author, to go through and discuss his books. We're going to be giving our honest opinion. Jason's a cool guy. I enjoyed the first book. It was fun, and we'll kind of see where the series kind of goes from here, because it seemed like a full complete story with book one, but we'll go through and we'll see how he expands on the rest of the series. I did one pre-order. I ended up pre-ordering Discovery by J.A.J. Minton. So this is a book written by the Minton family. They're the Talking Stories channel. I have their stuff linked. This book has been getting so much praise, and I actually went through and listened to an episode of a interview that they did. I can't remember whose channel they were on, and they ended up going through and reading some of the prologue, and it sounds amazing. So after that, I went through and bought it, and it should be coming in May. And it's going to be one of those, as soon as it comes in, I'm going to be going through and reading it. So super excited. I'll have the link for you to get to their channel and pre-order the books down in the description below. Jumping into book mail, I did end up getting one book that came in. Or two books technically, but I've read one of them. I ended up getting Whispers of the Storm by Z.B. Steele. I read the prequel book to this, the An Inkling of Flame, and this was amazing novella that I highly recommend to go through and check out. I know you can probably get the ebook of this. That's how I originally read this, was on ebook for like 99 cents. Worth every penny. Definitely go through and check this out. If you like this writing style, then go through and jump in and get Whispers of the Storm. I think I'm going to truly love this. This is book one of the Song of the Dam. But I'll have all of the information to get this directly from the author in the description below. And what was cool is also came with a cool bookmark here. And then also a cool little pin. So that's going to go up here on the wall, and be awesome to go through and have. All right, so what is happening next week? So kind of the schedule for next week. Monday's video is going to be my favorite authors that are currently still writing. So anyone that has a book that was out in the past 5 years or has a book coming out within the next 5 years. So I'm giving like a 10-year time period, and I'm going to do a list. Is it going to be a list of 10, 15, 20? I don't know. I'm still making the list. But I'll have a video out Monday on favorite current authors that are currently writing. The Tuesday, I'm going to be having a live discussion with Fina at Fina Reads. So it's going to be the second episode or third episode, I can't recall which one, of Double Booked. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great conversation. Fina is awesome. I'll have her channel also down in the description if you want to go through and check out her stuff before our live discussion on Tuesday. Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know, one of those days, I'm going to do my first short video coming out. So look out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Friday, another weekly recap, talk about everything that happened from now till then. And then the following Saturday, I'm doing an interview with Ryan Skeffington, author of Lost Souls. We're going to be going through and talking about his current book and then his upcoming book that's coming out this year. So super excited for that conversation with Ryan Skeffington. All right, so jumping into quick life updates. I've been busy. I've been very busy lately, not only with the normal stuff, but it is getting a little warmer outside. So the kids are starting their sports. We have soccer, we have baseball. So things are just getting busier and busier than they were before. Spring break is coming up. So we have a lot of fun stuff on the horizon to do with the kids. So I'm going to be not on Booktube as much as I've been, because it's going to be really focused on family time during spring break. But I will be prepping some videos to come out. But my interactions with all of you is going to obviously be delayed. So when I get back, I'll jump back in. We'll chit chat about stuff and it'll be fun. Also, I decided that I wanted to start a new hobby. So outside of all the other chaos stuff, book related, I wanted to do a new hobby. I decided it would be a lot of fun to get into bookbinding. I want to have leather editions and fancier editions of books, but I don't have the funds to constantly spend on these broken binding editions of these books that I want. So I decided I'm just going to make them myself because it'll be fun. So I don't have any fancy machines yet. Maybe one day I'll get some. So I don't have a Cricut or anything like that to make it look really, really good. So I'm doing everything by freehand, which takes a lot longer and it's not as good, but I'm learning a new skill. So that's it. So I actually did one this past week, my very first one. Be nice, be nice. But I went through and did Orphan X's second book, the Nowhere Man. So I went through and did the cover, wrote out the side. I know my handwriting sucks. I know. And then I went through and did a little like Nowhere Man here at the bottom for the first one. So nothing too crazy, but it looks good. There's some areas of opportunity here within the crevice that I need to go through, but it's a new skill. So going to be working on this. So once I start doing a little bit better with this, I'll start doing maybe some videos here and there of showing my process because it's a little bit different than what I've seen other people do. And, we can work on some cool ideas to do with that and mingle that within the channel. So I think it'll be fun. So last two things I want to do on the weekly recap, I want to go through and do a indie author spotlight and then a booktuber spotlight. So the indie author spotlight for this week is Blake Myers, who has a book that just came out, Who Put Bella in the Witch Elm. Blake is awesome, and I'll have Blake's website and book that you can go through and take a look at to see if that's something you might be interested in reading in the description below. And then the Booktuber Spotlight is a great friend of the channel, Mark from Avid Book Junkies. Mark is awesome. Go watch his stuff. He's such a cool guy. We first started off in the comments. We interacted a lot on there. We started talking a lot on X, and then he also went through and created a Discord where there's so many cool people on. But this guy has been really community based, of pulling people in and having great conversations. So go to Mark's channel, show him some love, subscribe, watch his videos. He's a great person. So that's it for this very first weekly wrap up. I really do appreciate you watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do. Till I see you in the next one.